day here in Southeast Texas, which is good. We needed the rain. The plants out there, I'm sure, are going to be incredibly happy. I was just thinking how the way that I do these readings has changed over the years. It started off just using my phone, and then it went to an iPad, and then it went to the computer, and I would do all of these directly on Facebook Live. And then it went from there to using software, which actually theoretically sends it out to different things: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Theoretically, I say, because it doesn't always seem to work, but it gets it out there. Different Facebook pages. Today's reading, how do I summarize it? It's called Abundance 102. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the whole thing and then I'm going to comment on it, because it can be a bit obtuse. Abundance 102. First quote is from someone everyone's heard of, I think, Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, "The good news is that the moment you decide that what you know is more important than what you've been taught to believe, you will have shifted gears in your quest for abundance. Success comes from the within and not without." And he was a big proponent of telling people, hey, get out in nature. He got in trouble with it early on, but then they kind of brought him back because he was so important. Because he would tell people, hey, don't listen to what these preachers are telling you. Go out into the countryside, go and enjoy nature, be one with nature. And what he's saying here is, I said I wouldn't comment, but I will on this. So he's saying that we're taught a lot of things in our life, and some things are valid and some things aren't, and some things are just simply other people's opinions. And oftentimes those opinions are the opinions of other people, of other people, of other people, going way back in time. And he's saying that consider what you've learned to date yourself. And what do you believe yourself? What do you really think yourself? And he's saying that that's a lot more important than other people's views and beliefs that they try to stuff down your throat. That's what he's saying here. Ernest Holmes talks about evolution. He says, to me, it seems to me that our evolution is the result of an unfolding consciousness of that which already is and needs to be realized to become a fact of everyday life. And at least in some simplified aspects of quantum theory, they say that everything exists in a state of probability or possibility, so that all things are possible. And that when consciousness focuses on something in the field that's in a state of probability, that it will actually it will collapse. There's a quantum collapse and it will become real in the universe. So Holmes is saying that the potential for everything already exists. And all that we need to do is to use our minds, our thought and feeling, to bring that into our existence, into, as he says, to become a fact of everyday life. So that's what he's saying. And our reading kind of goes on to the same thing. It's probably overly complicated. Abundance is an elemental aspect of the universe in which we live, and therefore it must be an essential element of who we are. He says, it cannot be unlike that which created me, for I'm made of the same stuff as all creation. I'll comment later. I will hold my thoughts. We live in a universe of cosmic possibilities and potentials. A universe that contains within it the necessary intelligence to actualize these potentials into form and into experience. Excuse me. Each of us is a center of this intelligence, actually a disturbance in the field of all intelligence, created to actualize potential according to who and what we are. This gets to the heart of our very reason for being, to actualize potential into our uniquely human experience. Your guess as to why this is the way it is, why the universe is the way it was created, is as good as mine. But here we are, abundant beings in an abundant universe designed to actualize infinite potential using an innate intelligence shared with all existence, but localized in an individualized way in each of us. Then he says, wow, not surprising, huh? When we accept this birthright, when we fully own our own nature and potential, we live lives of fulfillment and contribution to the greater good. We experience a healthy consciousness and encourage others to do the same. We expect life to go our way in general and are not off balance when it appears not to do so. How do I summarize this? Well, as we said before, everything exists in a state of potential. And the way that we're created as human beings is that we are expressions of the whole. And we are individualized centers of the whole. And we've been given the ability through our consciousness to actually bring things into being. When he talks about things in potential, it means it's got the possibility to be something. So for instance, a weight that's up in the air has the potential to, if you attach it to pulleys and so on, it has the potential when it drops down because of its weight coming down to lift things up. But until you actually release it to do that, it remains in potential. And he's saying that there's all this stuff in potential in the universe. Part of what we do is to bring it from this potential, this possibility, into real being. And that we've been given, and it's our birthright to do this. In other words, we've been designed this way. Why it all works this way, he says he doesn't know, which is fair enough, actually. So just simplified, through our thought and feeling, we have the ability to bring things into being in the universe, in the physical universe. So that's really all it is. He gives us a whole bunch of affirmations. Take your pick. My nature is goodness. That's a good one. My nature is abundant. My nature is abundance. I direct my experience from a place of high expectations, accepting the natural bounty of the universe in which I live, move, and have my being. I wouldn't use it, it's too long. I use my thought plus feeling to bring things into being. So take your pick. Reverend Lisa, with two things happening tomorrow. Reverend Lisa will be on between 9 and 9:30. Our service will be at 11 o'clock tomorrow. If you live in this area, like me, you should be grateful. Like me, I'm saying let's be grateful for the rain we've just had. It's still kind of dark out there. It's probably going to rain again, which is good. We've been without rain for weeks and weeks and weeks, so this is good. All the plants and trees and bushes and everything are going to be really happy. Well, you know what I mean. They're going to show their ability to be alive again, as opposed to waiting for all this stuff to pass and rain to come. So I'm happy. I'm glad. I have potential. You have potential. We have the ability to direct our thoughts and feelings to produce abundance in our lives. An abundance of everything, not just money, goods, things, not necessarily just bringing people in, but to bring in the good for everyone, to actually focus on bringing about a better world, one step at a time. So until next time, namaste.